skip the intro, we're going right into this one. So, is Dead Orbit the worst faction in Destiny 2? Yes. As a faction itself, it's actually a really cool faction, and a lot of people tend to just really like the faction and go about it. And in general, how always talks about exploring space and having Dead Orbit, you know, trying to find new planets and just exploring the depths of space, like I already said. It sounds really cool, and their backlines and lore is actually really cool as well. I'll explain to you some of the lore that they hold. Members of Dead Orbit intend to escape an already dying Earth before the darknesses return, as they've given up on the Traveler and put little faith in the city's ability to hold up against a major attack. While they recognize that such a move it could be very costly in terms of lives, they see no other alternative for survival and instead put their faith in finding enough Golden Age technology and vaults and abandoned shipyards to allow them to escape and find a new home world. They're also willing to cross New Monarchy's legal authority to achieve this end, but they also recognize that they will need to bring Guardians to their cause in order to fight against any future threats. Dead Orbit's literally willing to sacrifice anything they can to fight against any threats and not rely on anybody else, which I think is kind of cool. They don't try and rely on the Traveler's power, and they try not to rely on anybody else but their own faction to try and face these dangers ahead. Now, that could be really bad for the other factions in general as a story standpoint, because if they don't work together and come together at some points, then we can end up falling anyways. But the way that they're kind of like this Lone Ranger sort of style of faction where they don't trust anybody else and they want to get everything done themselves is really cool, and I think a lot of people like that sort of story style because people like to think that they are, you know, really good at what they do, and they like to follow a certain story of wanting to save the world in their own way instead of what's put forth in front of you. So all lore side, and Arachjalol being cool himself and pretty much emo, Dead Orbit in Destiny 2 sucks. The faction war rallies have been going on. This is the second one, just started up, and I haven't even played it yet, but I'm going to start playing some more again. I just got bored of Destiny 2, and I'm also focusing on Overwatch. I know, that's a lull in itself, but literally every single weapon in Dead Orbit is shit. It's literally the inferior faction out of all the factions in the, I mean, I guess it's not Season 2 yet, it's still Season 1, but it's like Season 1, like Arc 2 sort of style, because we got some different weapons, and we also have different winning weapons for this faction rally. And the weapons around both of these times are trash. I will admit, though, the reskinned weapons throughout all the factions, Dead Orbit still looks the best, and it looks a little bit more original, in my opinion, than some of the other ones. Like the wooden stock auto rifle, and then the SMG that looks freaking crazy. It looks just like a different sort of customizable SMG compared to the regular ones. I think those are pretty cool. But then we have the Truth Teller grenade launcher. Why in the fuck are we fighting for a grenade launcher? The grenade launchers are literally the shittiest thing in this fucking game, and we are fighting the other factions to win so we can get this grenade launcher as our winning weapon that should dominate anybody else. It's like Bungie said, here, you guys really like Dead Orbit, you know, you pledge your loyalty to them no matter what. Let's see if we can put in a grenade launcher and you'll still pledge your loyalty to it. Let's put in the shittiest fucking gun and see if you guys still like to play the game for the Dead Orbit faction. And I don't understand why that should be a winning weapon. It should not be a winning weapon whatsoever. It should definitely just be one of the weapons that you can get as a drop. Grenade launchers are just so inferior to every other single weapon in this game. It's literally a joke. And not to mention, it's a like one-shot grenade launcher where you have to reload it after you shoot once. And that's even worse. When some of the grenade launchers you can actually use and try and make do with are the ones that actually have full 6 grenades in the clip and whatnot, and have, like, you know, faster fire rate, a little bit more damage and whatnot, instead of just sacrificing all of that for one shot that's most likely going to miss. Everything else just falls flat, though. The armor doesn't look that great. The weapons, the rest of the weapons are still trash. The 11th hour, I already made a video on that being trash. It literally gets beat out by any other sidearm known to man. The Dire Promise is the only one that's kind of close to maybe doing something, but the perks on it make it trash as well. You could literally just use the Better Devils, or I think it's called the True Velocity for the Future War Cult one over it. I don't know. I didn't really go Future War Cult for that, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's called True Velocity or something like that, or True Promise. Fuck if I know, but all I know is that the explosive rounds on the hand cannons is what makes them really good right now, because hand cannons in general are very weak, so having that extra explosive round damage really boosts them up in damage-wise in the Crucible and just using them in general. Then we have the Contingency Plan Scout Rifle, not even good. Like, the reload speed and the handling on it is straight ass, and the impact and range don't make up for any of it. The SMG is probably the only one that has a little bit of hope. It has really good handling. The range stability is shit, but I'm sure with a little bit of customization you can make it a bit better. I'm not too sure. I don't actually have the gun, but I'd like to try and make do with it. Now, Season 2, we're going to have some different armor changes. I think they said how it's like, it's straight up different armor, or it's going to be like ornaments to change the armor. I'm not too sure. I know that we're going to have ornaments to change the armor for Iron Banner and such, but I'm not too sure about it actually being like that for Iron Banner. But what I do know is that it's going to look a lot better in Season 2, that's for sure. And Season 1, Dead Orbit, really fell short, and I'm very disappointed in what happened to Dead Orbit here. And I think people are just blinded by just loving Dead Orbit for some reason, and I don't know why. Destiny 1 Dead Orbit was really cool. It was a really nice faction. It had some really neat weapons, and the armor was okay. But, I mean, just as a faction in a whole in the first Destiny game, it was really cool. And like we already explained some of the lore, the style of them, it's just really fun to kind of try and play for. But in Destiny 2, with these weapons and armor pieces, there's literally no reason why you should choose Dead Orbit. If you're just choosing them just to choose them, you're freaking retarded. Now, me, since I have all 3 characters, I just choose every faction itself anyways. So, before you say anything in the future like, oh, you chose Dead Orbit too, buddy, and you're going to choose them again, aren't you? Yeah, I am, but I have 3 different characters, and I'm probably not going to work towards Dead Orbit, though. I'm probably going to try and get that SMG, and that's about it. I really think New Monarchy is going to win this one, and if they don't, they definitely deserve the win. And Future War Cult as well deserves it just as most, but obviously Future War Cult is just the most inferior faction out of all of them. Nobody really goes to them. It's not inferior in a way of them being bad. It's inferior in a way of literally they just, I don't know, nobody cares for them. It's weird. You have those people randomly come out of nowhere to say they love Future War Cult and they'll always be there for them. And it's just weird. It's always Dead Orbit versus New Monarchy, and Future War Cult just sits in the back. Something's got to boost them up in the future to help them survive these factions. Because in reality, this faction would probably just disappear at some point because of how low the popularity is for it. But I mean, Future War Cult, they have the number on their side. That's a freaking amazing auto rifle. They have the True Prophecy. They have their submachine gun, which actually has some good range, stability, and handling. And they have the Heart of Time pulse rifle, which I'm not sure if that was good or not. I think people said it was good. Wasn't there a scout rifle? Yeah, the Pleiades Corrector. That was also really good. It was apparently like a freaking Might Multi-Tool knockoff that was really good as well, apparently. And I mean, Dead Orbit stuff just looks 10 times better than everybody else's, so that's pretty much the only good thing they have going for them. The shotgun unification, I think that was supposed to be pretty good. So if you do want to choose just one faction, though, you don't have all 3 characters leveled up, it really comes down to, do you like PvP and do you like having better weapons over style? Because if that's true, I definitely go with Future War Cult. If you like having like really nice looking weapons and also just nice shaders and stuff, I definitely go New Monarchy. Thank you guys for watching the video, though. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like down below and also subscribe for more Destiny content. We're going to see what's going on with Destiny's future here and try and post more videos on it. If not, we're going to keep grinding out Overwatch on twitch.tv/ZinuxThePleb. So you guys can catch me out over there. I'll be streaming a lot of Overwatch over there, like I just said, because Overwatch is a game that I actually really enjoy. It's one of the games that is actually just really fun to get back on and play. Unfortunately, their community is really shit, so it's really hard to continue trying to play competitive, but it's a really fun game. So once again, thank you all for watching. Harmony within, Hurricane without, and I'll see you all in the next video.